Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Dychronic, your host here on this Destiny 2 video, and today we're going to be showing you where the Zur is, his location, his random rolls, and my recommendations for September 24th, 2021. I don't know why I was looking at that wall when we started, but I guess I was. Anyways, you can find him on the EDZ in his regular spot on the this little cliff here at the precipice of this cliff. This is his inventory in case this is all you cared about. The other page is just going to be that exotic cipher. Overall, I'm not too excited about most of this stuff. Let's go ahead and check it out. First up for the weapon today, we have the Merciless, which did get changed this season to finally actually work, and then slightly modified to make you actually have a little bit more DPS and a bit more consistent. If you've never heard of it, non-lethal hits with the projectiles of this weapon make the weapon charge faster until the wielder gets a kill. So you're shooting at a single boss target, it starts to shoot faster and faster and faster and do some pretty incredible DPS. The second perk is like kill clip, and it does more damage, although I never end up getting this one to really work. To be honest, I haven't used it too much or literally at all this season, but it is something I definitely want to try a bit more often because I do think it has a lot of potential, and whenever I get to damage testing, I'll hopefully be able to show where it is in the position of the meta, now that it actually finally works, whereas for a long time it did not actually shoot faster as you hit targets. It did initially, and somewhere they mess it up. Up next after that, for the Hunter Exotic, we have the Shinobu's Vow, which is a very, very good Hunter Exotic that's actually doing really well in the Crucible right now. Wow, that ornament sucks. If you've never heard of it, it improves the Skip Grenade, which is on the Arc subclass, and you gain an additional Skip Grenade charge. And improved Skip Grenades makes it have a little bit more twiddly bits, it tracks a little harder, it's overall much better, and Skip Grenade hits actually return energy when you damage enemies. Which again, you have more twiddly bits, you have an extra grenade for overflow charging, you're gonna get a lot more grenades with this, and skip grenades are actually pretty damaging. On top of the fact that Arc is being used a lot more often than it did before. Even though Shatter Dive is still pretty strong, Shinobu's Vow definitely a top 10 exotic for sure. As far as the roll goes, high recovery, high discipline is pretty good, high intellect is just always good for Hunter. Mobility could be a bit higher, resilience isn't too high to handle, so I would say a pretty damn good roll for this pretty damn good exotic. After that, for the Titan, nice shoulder dudes, getting them gains, them Titan exotics, the Worm God Caress. This is going to be the quintessential melee damage exotic for the Titan, and some people have been using this with the hammer and the Roaring Flames to do incredible amounts of damage, like 9999999. I have not gotten into doing stuff like that, but apparently you can do it. If you've not heard of it, melee kills increase melee damage for a short period of time, and additional kills extend the duration and increase the effects. You combine this with the hammer, which is a melee kill, and then Roaring Flames from getting hammer kills or ability kills, and you start getting really, really high melee damage, which I believe does not multiply with 1-2 punch, it only adds to it. As far as the roll goes, you like to see a lot more strength. However, if you're using hammers, you probably won't need strength if you can always pick up your hammer. And discipline works pretty well with getting more Roaring Flames if you don't have your hammer, and recovery is always great to have. Overall, a total of 66. This distribution, outside of a little more mobility and maybe strength, I'd say this is a fantastic roll for this kind of exotic. Again, only if you're really doing hammers, because you're gonna need a lot more strength otherwise. And it's not really great for PvP at all. Up next for the Warlock exotic, we have the Apotheosis Veil, where the coolest part about this exotic is the name. What it gives you is rather useless. Immediately regenerate your stuff whenever you enter your super, and your allies also get class ability faster. Now, I can't remember if you get a class ability faster when you pop your super or just all the time. I'm pretty sure it's going to be the former. The probably best part about this is that you have a minimum on your intellect, which I think it's like a 10 or 12 minimum for your intellect, which may end up boosting the total stats on average, but it's not really that game changing. As far as this exotic goes, it is revolving around your super. You'd like a lot more intellect. Recovery is pretty nice, so not a bad roll. Pretty great total stats as well, but kind of a bad exotic. Up next, let's talk about the legendary weapons. First up, 7-Star Carbine. Autoloading Vorpal is not bad. However, there are better options. The 450s is still not great. The Last Perdition is actually pretty damn good. Under pressure kill clip is exactly what you want. You got range in here, got some good side options, appended mag. I'd say this is a pretty damn good roll for I nearly said exotic, for a weapon that actually has really high range. It doesn't show how high this range is, but it is pretty much scout rifle range. If you're looking to use a pulse rifle in Grandmasters, this should be the operative energy choice. After that, we have Whispering Slab. Not the best roll, could be definitely better. We have the Timeless Vertex. Again, I don't really know when I'd use this kind of roll. We have the main ingredient, which probably work decently well in the Crucible, although should have a lot more range options on it. This is a 150 grenade launchers, which are inherently worse, and then this 120 with rolls that I'm not really interested in either. Next up, for the Hunter armor, keep in mind, again, this is for Hunter armor only because I'm on my Hunter. We got a 62, we got a 62, we got a 56, and a 62. Overall, not bad. Decent distributions depending on what you want. Definitely a good place to start if you don't have good gear. And again, make sure you're picking up your Xenology quests. You can get this every week from the Xur. Just by doing Crucible, Gambits, and Strikes, you can get an exotic cipher, either for a free exotic engram or something from the archive. It is definitely worth it. And of course, I always recommend trying to get this exotic engram because it's guaranteeing you a high stat roll. And if you're missing exotics, it guarantees you an exotic you've never received before. And this is a pretty good roll, actually. Mobility base is what you'd want it. And of course, make sure you come check out my live streams that I usually have right after these Xur videos. Today, I'm not going to be doing a stream and for the rest of the week as I'm going out of town. But usually, I do live stream, twitch.tv, link in the description down below. A lot of Destiny, open lobbies, etc. And of course, a big thank you to my patrons on Patreon. Specifically, a big thank you to Mom and Dad, Dr. Strange, Kelly Ellen, Joe Smith, Monte, Steve Bachman, Raymond Jones, Panther, Casey Reagan, for their support on Patreon. And that's it. Hope you guys did enjoy. My name's Dychronic, and I'll see you guys on the next one.